Hello guys, my name is Gavin, and this will be a video on how to create a burst gun with Python in the Blender game engine. And I'm just going to get started. So to start off, what we're going to do is double click the A button and hit X and delete. Let's then go into layer 2 by clicking this box down here. And let's do spacebar and then add a surface sphere. Now I'm going to convert this to a mesh by hitting Alt and C and convert to mesh. I'm going to rename this to bullet right here, so our surface sphere will now be renamed bullet. Let's go from defaults to game logic and go from Blender render to Blender game. With our bullet object selected, what we want it to do is add an always sensor. And let's add a motion actuator. And I'll put the motion as, let's say, 1, or the speed as 1 on the positive y-axis. So we can see that if I hit P now, it'll shoot that projectile forward. Let's then go back into layer 1, so click back in layer 1 right here, and do spacebar, then add an empty object. And we want this empty object to be a cube. On our cube right here, our empty cube, we're going to add an always sensor, and let's add a mouse sensor. And then I'm going to rename this as click right here. Once we have that, what we're going to do is add a Python controller and connect these like this. I'm then going to do templates, Python, and then game logic simple. Drag this out and delete the portion that I've highlighted. Hit Control and scroll up on your mouse to make your text larger, and rename this to gamescript.py. Alright, I'm now going to add a game property, and this game property will be used to determine the intervals in which we want to shoot our projectile. Alright, and that will be called just time, remember that? And actually, let's add one more actuator, an edit object actuator. We're going to add the object bullets for a time of 100. I'm going to rename this to add object like this. Minimize this and connect it like that. So let's now get our click sensor and our add object actuator into our game. By doing click is going to equal const sensors click. Then add object is going to be equal to const actuators add object. What we're going to do now is have it so that if we press the left mouse button, it's going to essentially instantiate our it's going to make it so that it'll start the process of the burst gun. So let's have if click.positive and own time is equal to 0. So the time hasn't started, not 30, but 0 right here. What we're going to do is set the time, own time, will then equal 30. And you might be wondering why we're doing this, but I'll show you in a second. And we're going to have if own time is greater than 0. We're going to have own time is going to minus equal 1. So if I click this right here, this I, and then do game and then show debug properties, you can see in the top left corner, actually hold on, there's an error really quick, equal to 0. You can see every time I click right here, it'll set the time from 0 to 30, and you can't click in between, and this is what makes this useful. What we're going to do now is have it so that if own time modulus 7, or if own time divided by 7 is equal to 0, and own time is not equal to 0. Oh, sorry. And own time is not equal to 0. What we're going to do is const.activates add object. So, and actually, we can probably do one thing. Yeah. And let's have and own time is greater than 10, let's say. Actually, I'll just ignore this last part. Keep this part right here. So what this is saying right here is that if own time is divided by 7 has a remainder of 0, and the own time is not equal to 0, so it's not set to the default thing, if we were to hit P now and click, you you can see it's going to shoot off 4 little bursts. Like that. And that's kind of how a simple burst gun works. You can see I click it once, and it does that each time. Alright guys, I hope you found this useful. I'll show you guys the script just for one more second.